So today's topic is a very interesting molecule, that is curcumin. So what is this molecule? The structure of the molecule is shown here. This is a very well famous compound. Actually it is a solid compound and intense yellow color. We shall discuss why. Slightly acidic in nature and can undergo ketoenol tautomerism very easily and can act as Michael acceptor. We shall discuss every point. So let's go into the details. Now before going to details, I shall give you two MCQs. So this is the MCQ number 1. I expect you student, you should attempt this and write your answer in the comment box, and don't worry, at the end I shall explain the answer. So this is MCQ number 1, this is MCQ number 2. Please pause and try. Now let's go to the main part. Means why should we study curcumin or its importance? Because without purpose we shouldn't waste our time. Actually this is an antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, prevent cancer, helps wound healing, blah 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 blah, means etc. So from this thing you can consider that this is actually a versatile compound, okay? And in ancient time it was used huge amount in India as a for its medicinal property, like Upton, okay? So you know it's a very important, because antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, means a compound have three properties. So that's why in Indian household curcumin is used many ways. Even in everyday cooking we use turmeric that contains curcumin, okay? So actually the source of this curcumin is turmeric, and that's why this is considered as India's gift to the world, and India is the largest producer and exporter of curcumin, or better to say turmeric. This is turmeric, or some people called this as haldi, okay? In many rituals, Indian rituals, we include this thing because of its versatile uniqueness and very bright intense color. Now if you look at this molecule, means you can expect many chemical properties, as we told, like those acid, base, sulfate, unsaturated carbonyl will come slowly. Now first let's discuss about the ketoenol tautomerism thing. So ketoenol tautomerism means, see, if you look at this molecule little closely, this is actually a 1,3-dicarbonyl compounds, okay? I have already discussed many lectures about 1,3-dicarbonyl. You may visit for better understanding. This is nothing but 1,3-dicarbonyl compounds. Point number 1. This, if you consider another part, so okay, 1,3-dicarbonyl compound we know can undergo ketoenol tautomerism. How? These protons can undergo enolization. Means if we draw, then it should look like that. This is the part and another part is enol, okay? So this is the enol form, and these enol could be stabilized by hydrogen bonding. So this is the hydrogen bonding, and you can see it's a 6-member ring formation, conjugated system, stable. That's why it undergo both. It remains in both keto and enol tautomerism depending upon the polarity of solvent, okay? So if you keep it highly polar, it prefers to remain in this form. So actually this is keto form, okay? Why? See, if you look at this molecule little carefully, this keto form, this is delta, this is delta minus, and this carbon is delta plus, means it's a more polar, and solvent is polar. So polar helps and stabilizes the polar. So that is the main thing, how this keto form is stabilized in polar medium. But if you provide non-polar solvent, then this enol form predominates. Why? If you look at very carefully, in the enol form the conjugation is observed. Conjugation means from the benzene ring, this, another benzene, means it's, you may consider it's a completely conjugated. But in the previous keto form, whereas the problem, see, this carbon was sp3, so conjugation was broken here. So whenever you add, means keep this curcumin non-polar solvent, it forms this enol form. And another thing, how because of these hydrogen bonding, you can see the whole system got stabilized. Okay, and in this, and because of this intramolecular, I should say intramolecular hydrogen bonding, this 6 membering, this curcumin remains in enol form in nonpolar solvent. So this question may ask to you that which form do you expect to be stable of curcumin in nonpolar solvent. So I guess you can answer. Now second thing, curcumin as Michael acceptor. Michael acceptor means alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl, and which one is the acceptor molecule? This is the beta. So if we draw this is alpha, this is beta. By the way, I've already discussed about this alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound and how they behave Michael acceptor. So please visit for better understanding. So this beta carbon is actually the acceptor part. And acceptor for what? This nucleophile, because since acceptor means it's electron deficient, this beta position, so that's why nucleophile can attack this part efficiently and bring about some reaction, chemical reaction more precisely. Okay, so this is, now we know when it's an alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound, there is a competition of nucleophilic attack. Means first one is this ketonic carbon having carbonyl carbon, and this beta carbon. Okay, now depending on the nature of the nucleophile, reaction may happen, and that's why it is observed that if you react this curcumin in alkali, what happens? Alkali forms many compounds. Now I will say that, sir, how all these are produced. Okay, so let's learn step by step. So for example, this is a 1,3-dicarbonyl compound. Okay, so this is X, this is Y. So if you put alkali, what can expect? That this alkali may attack here. So anyone, this carbonyl carbon. First it will open up, second it will come back here. You can see this thing, this Kraft-Chow reaction. For this thing I have already discussed. So fine. So what it will produce? It will produce, this is X minus charge here, and another thing here, this is, student please prefer to write everything as it is. It will reduce the chance of mistake. Now fine, we understood. So after this, it will abstract a proton from water anywhere in solvent. So it will produce this and X. Fine. So I guess if you understood this part, this reaction, you can understand how this ferulic acid is produced. Attack on here, means OH will attack on here. This will produce. We got it. Now what is the next? Next is how this part is produced. Now if one part is ferulic acid, then another part remaining is this much. Just forget, this is the hydrogen, just forget about rest of the thing. So this is, now in this case, this is also alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl, so it's a Michael acceptor. So in the next step, what can happen? Alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound, so alkali OH can attack, and after tautomerism, this thing I have already discussed previously, what it will produce? It will produce hydrogen, this thing. Now see this compound, if you look at within this box, this is actually a beta hydroxycarbonyl compound, actually product of aldol condensation. So you can expect that this through reverse aldol condensation or HOCC disconnection approach, I have already discussed this thing previously, so you can get the carbonyl. How? So you can think that instead of here, you can draw here. So this base will abstract this proton, it will come here and it will come here. Now I will say that sir, negative charge is coming here. How this is stabilized? Similar like this one. Okay, so in this way, first CH3CO was here, this part CH3CO. Now after this, here one CH3 obtained. So in result, what we got? CH3COCH3 means acetone. And in this case, here double bond forms, and that this CC bond breaks, So consequently what we get here, this is actually a benzaldehyde derivative. So in this way this is produced. Okay, now our question is keto or enol, which is expected to be good Michael acceptor? Obviously keto, because if you see this enol form, in this enol form, this is actually completely conjugated system. Conjugated means it is not that much electron deficient like the previous one or tautomar. It is keto form. I have already discussed details about keto-enol tautomerism, you may visit. Now we understood about this. Now another thing, curcumin is we told that is an antioxidant. What is antioxidant? Antioxidant means actually are the sacrificial molecules which stops or hinders or helps compound from oxidation. Means it's safe, it's a bodyguard for oxidation. So what? It's a sacrificial molecule, it sacrifices itself, means it undergo oxidation, or it is prone to undergo oxidation, and curcumin is one of them like that. By the way, I've already discussed such redox compound like glutathione or vitamin C, which are also antioxidant in our body, you may visit. Now, so it's an antioxidant sacrificial molecule. So how it acts as an antioxidant? First of all, remember, electron reservoir or electron rich compound can act as oxidant. Why? Because since they are rich in electron, so they can donate electron relatively easier. Means if they are able to donate electron easily, so they are easily oxidized, so they can save someone from oxidation by self oxidation. Now how this happen? We know this phenolic derivative, means phenols are electron rich, and here one OH and one OMe there. Similar to this, such kind of groups are there. Point number one. Another thing, this conjugation also plays a role. Consequently, this thing happened. Now question, where the oxidation happened? So first oxidation happens from this terminal oxygen of phenol moiety to form this oxygen radical. So it's a 2 electron oxidation, because from here both way there are 2 hydroxyl group, phenolic OH. So these radical can combine together. How they can combine? So this bond can come here, this can come here, from here one, here one, here one. In this way this is possible. Okay, so this reaction, and ultimately this radical will come here, and through further oxidation, another, means it's a oxidation will continue. So it means that it is prone to oxidation. Now, so this thing we understood. Now see another property, that is an acid base indicator. It's a really versatile molecule, multi-talented you can say. So this is acid base indicator. What is actually acid base indicator? Acid base indicators are itself acids. Okay, they have this OH, means which could be deprotonated. It could be OH, it could be carboxylic acid, etc. I have explained this concept in a dedicated short video about litmus, so you may visit. So in presence of acid or base, means external change in pH, they undergo deprotonation or protonation, and after this deprotonation the extent of conjugation decreases or changes. That's why their coloring changes. So if you look at this curcumin is yellow in acid, but when you provide some bases, means hydroxyl, what happened? They will abstract a proton. Okay, so any one proton you may consider, and after that it is red color in base. Now question appears, what proton could be abstracted? Actually there are 3 kinds of proton. One kind of proton is this OH proton, another proton is this active methylene proton, and another is another OH proton. So main competition is this OH versus this hydrogen, which is relatively more acidic. Remember, the acidity is actually dependent on the stability of conjugate base. So if this active methylene proton, this is active methylene proton is abstracted, the conjugate base, means the negative charge will appear here. So this, then it will be stabilized and whole system will be in conjugation. Okay, because this carbon is the sp3 carbon which was destroying the conjugation. Right now see this, after deprotonation this is sp2, so it is stable. So that's why first deprotonation happened here, and pKa of this proton is 8.34, this acetyl group. Second is one phenolic OH, any one of them. Now question, there are two symmetrical molecule, two phenolic OH. Why? This one value is 9.88, one is 10.51. This is because after the abstraction of this phenolic OH, the system becomes relatively more electron rich, means reluctant to get deprotonation, because for deprotonation polarity of this OH bond is important. So if this oxygen becomes electron rich, then it is reluctant. If this proton goes, it's okay, don't go, that's also okay. So that's why this value is relatively higher. Okay, now fine. And the another interesting application of student, I know you will say, wow, this is too much, but what I do, if someone is multi-talented, you have to accept the talent. So now detection of boric acid. So boric acid in food material, how? Actually curcumin, actually for detection it's an optical reaction. You may consider this is actually a yellow and the product is actually red. Okay, so what happens, this curcumin actually 1,3-dicarbonyl, or you can say the ketoenol form is, this is O, this is OH. Okay, so this thing. Now what can happen, that after deep means when it this chelates with, sorry, this is an enol, means there will be a double, when it chelates, then what happened, this proton gets removed, so it becomes like an anion, and it could be in a resonance. Resonance means that this can come here, it can come go, so here. So in overall structure we means we can say that this negative charge is on this oxygen and this oxygen both. So it can act as a chelating material, because we know previously that boric acid means ethylene glycol. This is actually this is ethylene glycol, means here H, here H. This ethylene glycol can form chelate with boric acid. How? These two hydrogen will remove, this is boron, and similarly two other from this. In this way it form a negative charge. We know the boric acid solution is not that much conducting, but when mixed with ethylene glycol the conductivity increases, acidity increases. This thing we have discussed previously. Now fine, we understood. Similar thing, this is actually, this ethylene glycol is actually 1,2-diol, and this acetyl acetone derivative, it can act as 1,3-diol. Okay, means both way, means here there was OH, through again resonance this proton could be shifted here and produce this carbonyl here. So it's like a similar thing. So in this way, actually remember in this case it's a 5-member ring formation for ethylene glycol derivative for 1,2-diol, and for this actually it's a 6-member ring formation. So this, and in this way they form this complex which is colored, actually it's a red color. So in this way it could be detected. It's a very efficient reaction, student. Now in this case I have explained this boric acid and ethylene glycol for conductivity thing. We understood how this boric acid, and by the way how boric acid looks like, boric acid is, this is OH, OH, OH. Okay, so during the reaction these OH are replaced. Driving force is chelation, because chelation means more and more stabilization. So let's come to our main two MCQs. First of all, what about this reaction? In this case we have taken Grignard reagent. Okay, so this is actually Grignard reagent, and we know Grignard reagent can act as both, either it can act as base or it can act as nucleophile. Okay, so it can act as nucleophile. Now question, what role it will play? Actually there is electrophilic center, this 2-carbonyl, actually it's an 1,3-dicarbonyl compound, 2 carbonyls are there, so they can act as electrophile. Or another option is there are acidic protons, 2 active methylene protons. And remember student, acid base reactions are the fastest reaction, so that's why acid base reaction will happen, and in this case the methyl minus from this Grignard reagent will abstract this. So what it will produce after this first step? It will produce, so this is this OET minus. Now this is the anion, and another thing MgBr it will be there, means along with that after this. Now because methane, so after this step what will this reaction will produce methane and it will come up. come outside, means plus methane here. Now in the next step is actually a workup, means RT then H3O plus workup. So whatever carbon ion is quenched by water, so what it will produce? It will produce this one. So after this reaction, sorry, not this one, so it will produce this option D, this one, means the same starting compound will produce. So D is the answer. Now similarly, if you look at this compound, what is the answer? So here also this 2 proton option there, and here diazomethane. We know the structure of diazomethane is CH2N2, we know this CH2 minus N2 plus, although there are other canonical form possible, but this is most contributing, and we know that like this Grignard reagent, this diazomethane can also act as either base, means weak base, or it can act as nucleophile, both possible. Now in this case also, since acid base reactions are the fastest, so what will happen, these negative charge on this thing will abstract this, and what it will produce, similar like the previous example, it will produce this. Actually this is resonance stabilized, I am not showing those things. So this is the negative charge, plus it will produce that CH3N2. Now if you look at very closely, student, this N2 is one of the best leaving group, okay, and because nitrogen is one of the most stable molecule. I have already discussed a dedicated lecture on this, exactly this topic, please visit. So what happened, see, this methyl is a very small size group, attached leaving group N2 is a very good leaving group, nucleophile is moderately bulky, means this one. So what can happen, simple, it's a condition for SN2 type reaction, so it can attack here from the back side and it will produce, and by this SN2 reaction what it will produce, it will produce the methylated version, that is this one. So option C is the answer. Okay, so you see here nitrogen is produced, so I guess this option also should help, because here nitrogen is eliminated. Now, so this is the overall discussion, what you have learned today. In conclusion, curcumin is a versatile compound having phenolic OH, alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl, active methylene compound, functional group, etc. Curcumin is electron rich, so it can act as an antioxidant, and due to its alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl group, it can act as a Michael acceptor, fine. And due to conjugation and OH, it shows intense color, it could be used as acid base indicator. And remember, this curcumin's color is considered to be the color of happiness, goodness. That's why it is used in many Indian rituals. And I request students from abroad who are not really habituated with curcumin, please read about it, and if possible, please try to include this in your food habit. I guess you will get the biological benefit of this for your day-to-day life. So thank you again. Stay happy, stay blessed, and if possible, please like, comment, share and subscribe. See you in my next video.